It's my ocarina. Hello everybody and welcome to the playground. In today's video I will be talking about and ranking every single character from Arcane. If you haven't heard of Arcane, you probably have a life. So Arcane is a new Netflix series that's recently come out and is based off of League of Legends. I've never played League of Legends and I probably never will, which I've heard is good. But regardless, Arcane has slithered up into probably my top 5 favorite shows of all time. If not, maybe even the top 3, but I'd have to think about that a little bit more. You could say something about pretty much every single character in Arcane. They all have their own personalities, and you can understand why they do what they do, and I think it's really well done, and I thought making a tier list would be kind of a fun way to get to talk about them. This is going to be based off of my opinion. I'm not really ranking them based off of power or anything like that. So, without further ado, let's just get right into the video. Okay, so here is the tier list. It's just all the main characters. Let's just get right into it. Starting off strong with Jinx, and Jinx is absolutely one of my favorite characters. She is so far the most nuanced character, at least in my opinion, which says a lot because pretty much every single character is very, very, very well written. You know, season 1 was more or less about Jinx, and I really liked it. So next is Ekko. Oh my gosh, these are both my favorite characters. These are probably my 2 very favorite characters of the show. I want to see more flashbacks of them actually in season 2 because their fight scene was seriously one of the coolest fight scenes I've ever seen in animation. It also breaks my heart a lot because I want to see them be friends again. You can tell Ekko really did care about her when they were kids. So, I don't know, I just want to see more of that, and I want to see more Ekko in general. I think they could do a lot with his character, especially the time thing, you know, that might be how they save people from Jinx's bomb. Maybe they're even going to try to save Jinx that way, which who knows if that's even possible at this point. So next we have Jace. Okay, I don't know if I have pure disdain for him, but I really don't like him. Blah, I don't know who I have pure, yeah, I probably will put him in blah, but it's a close pure disdain. I really don't like him, and I never did ever since we first saw him. I really don't care about him or his story. The only thing that I do like about his story is that he's friends with Victor, because I like Victor, but we'll get there. We'll get to Victor. I just don't really care about him that much, and I don't really know why. Next we have Marcus, which I thought I would be in pure disdain just because, you know, when he was younger he was that bratty cop. He thought he knew everything but he didn't, and that was annoying to me, but I guess that's how he was supposed to. But then as we learn, he has his daughter. He's not a fully bad person. He didn't kill Vi. He has a heart at least. He was mad when his mentor was making deals with Vander because he didn't understand it, but then when he took up the role as like the lead enforcer, he realized that she was doing what she had to do. But unfortunately for him, he was working with Silco and not Vander, and Silco is morally evil, to say the least. So I'm gonna put him in meh because I don't hate him like I did in the beginning. Next on the list is Mel. First of all, her character design is beautiful. She is one of the most beautiful characters in the show. She definitely has that like aristocratic feel to her. She's like the epitome of Piltover, you know, whispering these things into Jace's ear. She's pretty much the one who started all of it. Towards the end, we definitely see more about her character being thrown out. She has a much kinder heart than her mother, is much more reasonable, and her first instinct is not violence. Even when they're in the council meeting, she is saying that war should be the very last resort, and we can see where that comes from because her hometown in Noxus, it was waged in war the whole time. Mel doesn't want that to happen. So I would definitely say I enjoy her. She's an enjoyable character. And then next we have Savika. I like Savika. You know, she's very intense. She's a good rival for Vi, somebody that puts up a fight. It's interesting because she's almost a rival for Vi and a rival for Jinx because they were both very close to Silco, obviously in different ways. Jinx was a daughter figure and Savika was the brawn behind the brain that was Silco. I like her. I think she's powerful. I would like to know more about her. I think that she's probably gonna be the one who takes up the throne of Silco, you know, since Jinx did that. Next we have Vander. Of course I like Vander. Who wouldn't like Vander? I think it's definitely sweet that he took the kids under his wing. His story and Silco's story is reflected in Vi and Jinx, and I'm going to be talking more about that in my next video, so I'm not going to give away too much here. So next is Vi. I loved Vi's story within the first act. We could see her tragedy, we could see how much she cared for her sister and how much she cared for the people that followed her. She was this leader figure. She was somebody that people looked up to. She's in prison for 10 years when everybody else is moving on with their lives and going in much, much, much different directions than she thought they were going to be going. She literally does not know how to handle this change. I think after she got out of jail, her story is a lot more boring because she's just trying to process everything that's happened. And it's realistic, but regardless, I think that her story has been one of the most tragic so far. First of all, nobody talks about how she was going to sacrifice herself because she had that guilt, because she was the leader and she needed to take responsibility. It all went wrong and everything got worse from there, to the point where she lost her whole family. I don't know if I want to put her in the top tier because that's reserved for my true favorite characters, but I love Vi. If there was a tier in between Enjoy and Most Beloved My Dear, Vi would be there because I do really love her. So next we have Silco, and Silco is another very nuanced character. Like I said, I feel like Jinx's story reflects a lot of Silco's story. I feel like their characters reflect each other quite a bit. I think Silco is just one of those characters that shows that bad people can still do good things. Bad people can still raise their daughter lovingly. Silco has abandonment issues as well, but where Jinx was driven to insanity by her guilt and her abandonment, Silco was motivated by it. He literally took control of the Undercity. He literally almost had what he was working towards the entire time. But nothing is so undoing as a daughter. So Silco is another character that I do very much enjoy. He is an A+ character. You know what? I am gonna add another little line here. Okay, so I added another line by a Mel. I needed to put them a step above. I just needed them to be there. Next we have Caitlyn. I was expecting to like Caitlyn a lot more than I actually did just because of what I saw from her on Twitter and stuff like that. I don't dislike her, but she's just a lot less interesting than I thought she would be. She's just kind of boring to me, honestly, right now. She has a very good heart. She's like pretty much the only character at this moment that is not corrupt in some way, but you know, her mom's about to die, so maybe that'll give her some more character depth. I still like her, but not as much as I thought I would. So she'll go in the enjoy column. I think I was also annoyed by this part because Caitlyn just completely comes in at the wrong moment. I was like, why is she so far behind Vi anyways? Why couldn't she have just stayed behind for like 5 minutes and just let them talk? I'm assuming that when Vi saw the blue smoke, she kind of just sprinted off without saying anything to Caitlyn, kind of like she did when they first went to the Undercity. So Caitlyn was just lagging behind her. But it would have been nice if Jinx and Vi just had a few more minutes to talk, because you can clearly see Jinx is trying to push back the voices, but things don't work out easily in Arcane, as we all know. Oh, next is Clagger. Clagger, you can go here. I love you very much. That was sad. They were so close. They were so close. Oh my gosh. I just loved that he was such a big brother figure to Powder. He was the one who was gonna, go back for her. Other than Vi, of course, he was looking out for her as well. He did obviously show some annoyance with her, but he didn't berate her like Milo did, which I think is very important. Again, I really want to see more flashbacks to when they were all together, when they were a family, because now we only see him as the voices in Jinx's head that are haunting her because she's so guilty for what she did. Next we have Victor. You can go right here, my most beloved, my dear. As somebody who is chronically ill and sick, I unfortunately relate to Victor a lot. Here's my cane that I'm too scared to use most of the time. But regardless, Victor is also just one of those characters that you really root for because you can understand exactly why he does what he does, and you can understand what pushes him to make these rash decisions that might end up in hurting the people around him. It's like one of those stories where you can clearly see the descent into madness. Very sad. I just want so much for him to be happy and healthy. So next we have Milo. He might be walking on pure disdain for me. Okay, he's not pure disdain. Okay, it's hard for me to put a character in pure disdain. Maybe he is. I don't know. I don't like him. I don't like how mean he was to Powder. I didn't like it then, and I didn't like it now. The only reason why I might like him now is because I felt bad when he died. And I don't really think that's a good reason to like somebody. He's literally the loudest voice in Jinx's head because he was the loudest voice who was berating her all the time. She was literally the youngest out of the entire group. Of course she can't do all the exact same things that the rest of them can do. She had skills in other areas, but they just weren't valued like, you know, hand-to-hand combat would be. So I'm gonna put Milo in pure disdain, but just know I feel bad about it. Next is this enforcer cop lady. You know, I liked her. She was reasonable, her demands made sense, she was trying to work with Vander, she didn't want to see the underground the way that it was. She was interesting to watch rather than just the bad cop kind of person. And then we have this guy. I forget his name too, but he was like Ekko's mentor. He seemed like a nice dude. But I don't really care. This guy, he was the one who got in a fight with them. So I'm gonna put him in blah because he was mean and he like beat them up and whatnot. Or he tried to beat them up. But I do feel kind of bad for him that he was made into the monster, which, I mean, it was his own choice to take the stuff, but was it really his own choice? Because it was Silco. Silco was gonna make him do it either way. So I do feel bad. It kind of shows the cycle of crime in a way. Like when you're down into it, it's very, very hard to get out. So next we have Caitlyn's mom, which I don't really care about her, don't have much to say about her. Next on the list we have Sky. She needed more development for me to actually care about her death. Honestly, she was kind of annoying. I was like, get off of him, girl. Like, she probably just shouldn't have interrupted the experiment. It looked scary and I don't know what I would have done in that situation. It wasn't really my favorite scene. She was cute though, like I don't care about her. Next are these rich people that I don't care about again. Okay, next we have Mel's mom. I do not like her. I do not like her at all. This might be an unpopular opinion. Let me get this straight. I love a good, strong, beefy woman. So when I saw her, this good, strong, beefy woman coming out of that airship, I was like, ooh, who's this? But she acts like a man. She acts like a man in every worst possible way. Power hungry, objectifying, arrogant, just like gross. And I feel like because she's a big beefy woman, people are gonna be like, ah yes, girl power, blah blah blah. But you know, she's just not my cup of tea. And next is Heimerdinger. I don't dislike him. He's kind of just annoying to watch. Like, I understand his quarries and his issues. He's been alive for so long that he's seen these issues going wrong. He's using his experience to justify these decisions that he's making and whatnot. But it's just kind of like, give it up, man. Your time is over. Like, Victor is gonna die soon, so he can't be waiting 10 years to make advancements in his field. He has to do it now. But I think he's gonna be doing stuff with Ekko in the next season, so maybe I'll like him more after that. After rethinking a bit, I realized I already started to like him more towards the end of the season after he got kicked off the council, because he was actually making the effort to go down and see what his city costs. Lastly, we have Singed, and Singed is just like, he's meh for me because he's definitely interesting. He's just kind of in the background though. I don't really agree with his experimenting. I think there needs to be a balance between Heimerdinger and Singed. Right now it's either just like you're full-on unethical experiments or you're just not doing anything. And there's gotta be some sort of middle ground between the two. I'm not a scientist, so what do I know? So that's all of the characters that we've got. If you made it this far, comment the water gun emoji, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!